Hello friends, and welcome to the new chapter of Anne of Green Gables. I hope you like it and subscribe my channel. Let's go. Marilla Cuthbert is surprised. Marilla stopped in her tracks as Matthew and a strange little redhead walked in. Matthew Cuthbert? Who's that? She said. Where's the boy? There wasn't a boy, he said. There was only her. He nodded to the child and suddenly remembered he had never asked her name. How could there not be a boy? Marilla asked. We sent word to Mrs. Spencer, bring us a boy. Well, she didn't. I asked the station master. I couldn't just leave her there in any event, no matter what mistake was made. The child remained silent, her eyes roving from one to the other. She dropped her bag. You don't want me because I'm not a boy, she cried. I might have known it was all too beautiful to last. I'm going to burst into tears. And burst into tears she did. She buried her head in her hands and started to cry. Marilla and Matthew looked to one another. They didn't know what to do. Well, there's no need to cry, Marilla said. Yes, there is a need. She lifted her head. If you were an orphan and were told your new home isn't really yours because you aren't a boy, you would cry too. This is the most tragical thing that's ever happened to me. Something close to a smile crossed Marilla's lips. Although it had been so long since she smiled, it was hard to tell. Well, don't cry anymore. We're not going to turn you out tonight. You stay until we learn what happened. Marilla thought of one more thing. And what is your name? Anne Shirley, she said rather sadly. But please call me Anne, spelled with an E. What difference does it make? Another rusty smile crossed Marilla's lips. Oh, it makes such a difference. It looks much prettier for one. Anne with an E is so much more romantic, don't you think? Very well, then, Anne spelled with an E. Can you tell me how this mistake was made? Were there no boys at the orphanage? Oh, yes, many, Anne answered. But Mrs. Spencer said quite clearly that you wanted a girl, about 11. So they sent me. Anne turned to Matthew. Oh, why didn't you tell me this at the station? If I hadn't seen the White Way of Delight and the Lake of Shining wait us, it wouldn't be so hard. It's all so tragical. What on earth does she mean? Marilla demanded. Lake of Shining Waters. She's talking about things we saw on our ride home. The lake is Barry's pond, Matthew said quietly. I should go out and tend to the mare. She'll need water. He went quickly outside. Let me hang up your coat then. When Matthew comes back, we'll have supper and talk about this later. Anne couldn't eat, though. She nibbled at her food, but it was hard to swallow. Please don't think poorly of me because I can't eat. I really wish I could. Everything is very nice. Marilla looked at the girl. She was so tired and sad that she could barely sit up straight. Maybe it's time for bed, Marilla said. Nothing can be done until morning anyway. In a room next to the kitchen was a bed for the orphan boy, but it didn't seem right for a girl. Anne would have to sleep in the east gable room. Marilla picked up a candle and told Anne to follow her. Anne moved slowly, taking her bag with her. She noticed that the house was very, very clean. Nothing was out of place. Now get ready for bed. I'll be back to put out the candle. Anne looked around the room. It was bare. except for a bed, a table and chair, and washstand and mirror. She put on her nightgown and jumped into bed. Marilla came in and saw Anne's clothes scattered on the floor. She picked them up, placing them nearly on the chair. "Good night," she said, a little awkwardly. "How can you say it's a good night? This is the worst night of my life." Anne cried. She buried her face in the pillow. Marilla went back to the kitchen. She did the dishes in silence as Matthew sat in the corner smoking his pipe. "We should have gone to the orphanage ourselves," Marilla finally said. "I go see about this tomorrow. The girl will have to be sent back." "Well now, Marilla, she's a nice little thing, and she's so set on staying." Marilla was shocked. "Matthew Cuthbert, you don't mean you want to keep her?" "We might do her some good," he said quietly. "I could hire a local boy for the course. Anne could help you." "I don't need any help," said Marilla. "We wanted a boy to help you." "Well now, Marilla, whatever you think it's best." He got up from his chair and went to bed. Marilla was left alone with her thoughts, and there were an awful lot of them. I hope you liked it and subscribe my channel. See you next time.